All right, here we are live with our Microsoft Flight Simulator NeoFly Career Mode, episode number 11, day 18 in Selma, California. So this one, we got our flight plan all queued up here. We're flying out of Blue Canyon, Nyack, and we are flying a round trip tourist event. So we're going to get this thing going. Once we get up in the air, I'll give you an update on the career mode and where it's going, and give you a sort of, I guess, a Financial Friday update. So yeah, let's get this thing up and going. Let's make sure that we got our flight plan all set, which we do. So we are doing this tourist event over to Oroville Dam. So we got to fly some people to take some pictures, and then we will circle around and fly back and do a landing over at KBLU where we took off. So yeah, let's get this thing up in the air and going. It is currently 3:30 my time. Oh, we don't have any fuel. We need to refuel before we take off. Alright, so we just spent $351 in fuel.
Nice to see you again. Hey, I see you brought your selfie stick. Please fly our guests to the POI and complete a few circuits so they can grab some pictures. Good day, pilot. The happy snappers are making their way now.
Alright, passengers are boarding. We are already out of coffee this morning, so it might be a rough trip for this one.
Pilot, we're all set for departure. Remember to say cheese.
Alright, that was pretty cheesy. Alright, we're going to get our plane started here. We're doing our battery switch test. Holding that for 20 seconds. 10 seconds to go. And we're going to switch on our alternator and our battery as we get our navigation system up here. So G1000 Cessna 172 still. We're going to be looking to upgrade to...
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
We're going to be upgrading to a Class C plane semi-shortly. We just got to find one, and we'll probably rent it out. We're currently purchased this one. So we don't have any payments on this, but we will figure out a Class C plane so that we can start earning some more money. Alright, navigation system is on. We are going to click enter to continue. There's our flight plan back and forth. That's a rough estimate of where the dam is. So we will navigate around the map to find out where the dam is so that we can circle around and our passengers can take some pictures. So we are going to the west. We don't want IF. Alright, we're going to have to request IFR clearance, and then we'll cancel it. So we are good to go here. Yeah, we're gonna accept it, but we're gonna cancel it. We're doing a tourist event, so we can't do IFR.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha cleared to Kilo Bravo Lima Uniform Airport is filed. Climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure is 119.75 squawk 2344. Clearance point 30 minutes from now.
Alright, we still need to announce taxi.
Kilo Bravo Lima Uniform Traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is taxiing to runway 15.
We're going to release the parking brake here. We're going to find out where they have us going out on runway number 5 or 15. Alright. We're going to increase the throttle. Get our rudders going. And we're going to go right through this guy. Excuse me, coming through. Alright, there is no real taxiway here. This is a small airport. So we're just going to run up the side here. Until we get to the end of the runway, and then we'll turn around. Alright, here's the runway. We're going to circle around those little cone things. Alright, we are lined up with the runway. We're going to announce takeoff. We're going to the west.
Kilo Bravo Lima Uniform Traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha taking off runway 15 west departure.
Alright, flaps are up. We're going to get airborne and then we'll give an update once we get our heading correct. Oh, and we got to cancel the IFR route. Alright, we got liftoff.
Have an enjoyable trip. It's a great day for it.
And we're clearing the trees here. Let's adjust our heading here. So Selma, California, very nice area, rolling hills. It was nice to fly into that airport, and happy to share a round trip back to that destination. Alright, approaching 30-degree turn. We don't want to surpass that, or else NeoFly will not like it, because our passengers will get a little upset if we do a severe bank. Alright, so we are leveled off here. Very nice area. We still haven't picked out an area for our home base yet, so we're kind of scouting out, keeping everything on the on the option table. So we're going to adjust our heading here as we fly towards Oroville Dam so that our passengers can get some touristy photo snaps. So I've done a tourist event before. I'm familiar with the process. And yeah, so you guys get to see it firsthand. Ah, maybe we can just bypass ATC here. That would be a good thing. So let's see, our elevation for our destination point is 5,200 feet above ground level. We're going to adjust our altimeter. So we're at 62. We're going to do hold altitude here, because I think we need to maintain no more than 1,000 feet above ground level when we do the mission. So we can probably even get this to, we'll say 5,000 feet. $50.85 is good. Reduce our throttle. Reduce our elevation. That is a very deep valley there. I can picture a home base here right above that with that scenery. Going to make sure that we got clearance here. Ground level, yeah, we got plenty of space here to level off. There's our target. We are leveling off. Back in here, increase our throttle. About 85. That should keep our RPMs and torque in check. Alright, so let's give you an update. We're currently sitting at 1.9 million. It's going to cost us about 1.8, maybe 2 million to build the home base. So we're going to keep building our bank there with both our missions as well as the 3 pilots that we hired. We got Hurricane, Berlin, and Snoopy. Currently right now, Hurricane and Berlin are in the air. Snoopy is resting. So Snoopy is resting in California. She is in Chino, California, at the Chino Airport. Berlin is in the air. He is going from Ontario, Canada to Pennsylvania. So he is on a 235 nautical mile trip. And Hurricane is going from Canada to Montana. So she's on the west coast of the United States and the west coast of, or the west side of Canada. So both on the other sides of the North America continent.
Southwest 2617 heavy, you are tree 1 mile northeast.
But
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 17 left approach by a Tango transition. Clear to Tango.
but they are doing their thing, earning us some money, and you know, we're moving along with the plan here to get our home base plan or home base set.
Expect ILS runway 17 left approach via Tango transition. Clear to Tango Southwest 2617 heavy.
So the,
Southwest 2617 heavy, contact NorCal approach on 125.4. Good day.
so I'm guessing the dam is going to be up here by this body of water. And we're going to circle around, get the passengers to be able to take some pictures. They'll snap it away, and then we'll head on back to the airport. But yeah, so looking at our financials here, we got $1.9 million. Our full P&L on our balance sheet looks like $2.3 million in equity. With this plane being, after depreciation, $177,000 in equity. We paid $212,000 for it. We put in a whole bunch of repairs into it to get it up and going, and then yeah, so we got that going. So that's on the books, and we are just plugging along here. We're gonna move our way up to the state of Oregon and Washington, probably along the coast. I'm kind of leaning towards that way for where the home base will be, so that we have a little water view and some mountain scenery. So be a good combination of the two. A nice little 180-degree turn. We're going to check our mission here. We are on track for it. We do have to go to the left side of the water there. So the dam is going to be around here. So we're going to go ahead and go into our cockpit. We're going to adjust our heading just a little bit to the left. We're going to reduce our altitude by 100. Oh, that's not the body of water. We still got a little ways to go. So apparently there's another body of water up there. We're going to check our maps. So this is the new billiards, or no, never mind. That on the maps is a restaurant. There's a new billiards bar. No, that is it. So that's the new billiards bar reservoir that we're passing over. So that's not the destination that we're looking for our tourists, but Lake Oroville is, which is going to be off in the distance here, probably on the other side of those mountains. We are still lined up. based off of our map here. So yeah, this is the reservoir that we're passing over, and yeah, we'll approach the Oroville Lake in a little bit. So hope you guys have been enjoying this NeoFly career mode. We're definitely going to be keeping this going. We're passing over Greenville, California, which is right down there. Definitely not a big town. And yeah, and we also have our Japan or Tokyo bush trip going. We just completed leg 4. We got that scheduled to post in a couple of hours. So tune in for that. That's at 6 a.m. Eastern time that I have that scheduled for. So that will be, you know, what is that? 2 hours, 15 minutes away from being posted. Alright, little turbulent weather there, pushing the plane around. So we still don't have Lake Oroville in sight. How's our throttle doing? Throttle sitting 77%. Let's go ahead and move that up to 80. Try to push through some of this turbulence. I think I see the water up ahead there. So we're going to stay on the left side of the lake. All right, our destination sits at 4,100 feet, 4,179 feet above ground level. So we will have to increase our elevation at some point. We just adjusted our altimeter to the current air pressure. So once we get a little closer to it, we're going to have to increase our elevation by, we'll say, 600 feet. Alright, fuel sits at 46%. Oil and everything is looking good. Just a little turbulent trip here. Is it windy? 9 knots coming from the left. Coming up to Robinson Mill over to the left. Can't see it just yet with the bar there, so maybe we'll do this. So Robinsonville, another very small town. seems like the dam is right around there. So, beautiful area for sure. I would imagine that there's a bunch of hiking trails up there. And as we zoom in on the map, this is Kelly Ridge, and there's a Lake Oroville State Recreational Park right up here off of that. That's what this area is. There's also a couple of bridges. We got Bridgewell Bar Bridge, which is situated right on this side somewhere. I think it's blocked by the mountain. I think that's it down there, the connection of it. We should be getting notified from NeoFly that we're 5 miles away pretty soon. Oh no, we don't have to adjust our flight here. Never mind. Our ground level is 65 or 896, so we can actually drop our elevation. Let's go ahead and do that in preparation here. So we're going to go to about, let's start with that. We'll drop it. We're going to reduce our throttle, increase our speed, vertical speed indicator. We can get up to 140. We can drop our altitude a little more. And maybe 100 more feet. So we get a good look at the dam. And we can circle around, let our tourists take some pictures, and then we'll head on back.
Transporter, you are less than 2 nautical miles from the POI. Stay under 1,000 feet.
So our target altitude is 1640. We're going to adjust our heading here so that we can actually circle around the airport, or circle around the dam.
Okay, turn around the POI as close as possible until they are done taking pictures.
I'm going to increase our throttle. We'll circle around the dam here.
fast as possible until they are done taking pictures.
Alright, let's go the other way. Let them get a view from the other side.
Transporter from dispatch. Enough pictures for today. Good job. You can come back.
Alright, we'll get that. And then we're going to increase our altitude. And we'll start heading back to the airport for KBLU, which is Blue Canyon, Nyack. Alright, we're going to increase our altitude back up. Just start heading to get back to the airport. Do have to clear that mountain, which we are good. Checking the elevation here, so that's 3,300. That's 4,000. And our airport sits at 5,260 or 5,265. So we're looking at a overall altitude of 6,200 that we want to get to eventually. But we got a little bit of time to get there. Go ahead and leave it at 6,000. That's good enough for our approach. It leaves us about 800 feet above the runway when we get to the approach. And we're going to be landing, let's go ahead and pick a runway. We're going to be landing in runway number 15. Throw that in there for that. And yeah, we are looking pretty good for that. So we can actually adjust our heading just a little bit to the left, so it'll give us some room for our approach. can enjoy the scenery on the way back. So there's that bridge that we were talking about before. Zoom in down there. Maybe we can see some cars passing by. Not so much. So yeah, Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Very enjoyable plane to fly. As we head on back from doing the tourist trip for NeoFly. So passengers were able to snap some photos. That was a success of the Oroville Dam. And we're heading back. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, local time, 4 a.m. Today is volunteer day at 7 a.m. So I think after this, I may lay down and take a nap. We got the cockpit view, which is a little quieter, and we got the exterior view, which gives us a little more view of the scenery, but sound is a little louder. Because you're outside, you hear the engine a little more. Reduce our throttle a little bit. We're putting a little bit of stress on the engine. Alright, we can adjust our heading looking at the flight plan here. We're not 100% following the designated flight plan. I actually adjusted it for runway number 15. So I'm following it on the map. Get there. So looking at the map here, this is where we are. We're going to come in on runway number 15 at Blue Canyon Nyack Airport, right over Interstate 80. There's a scenic outlook over here. Coming up to Footsie's Crossing Bridge. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, but that's how I read it. Weeds Point, Camptonville. This is the new billiards bar reservoir campground over there. Another campground here off to our right, the Majoring Cove campground. Go ahead and see if we can see that. It's somewhere nestled in that forest. So no golf courses on this trip. We didn't pass a big enough town. But beautiful to see the nature out here in the outskirts of Selma, California. Seems like an untouched lake here for development of houses. Go ahead and adjust our heading just a little more. We are currently 24 miles away from the airport. Let's see how long this runway is. I think it's relatively short. It's 5,200 feet, or no, here we go. Yeah, it is a short runway at 3,303 feet long. So we're gonna have to come in pretty shallow so that we hit the threshold, because we don't have a lot of room to stop. So it's a small airport. The other airports that we were landing at, to give you a comparison, some of the medium length runways run about 5,500 feet, and some of the bigger airports run anywhere from 10 to 12,000 feet in length. So plenty of room for a small Cessna to land in. This type of airport being 3,300, the Class C may be a little tough to land on there because it doesn't give you enough length to come to a complete stop. So probably won't be flying into small airports like this once we get into, let's see, we're going to try to get into either the TBM 930, which has a cruise speed, a registered cruise speed of 330 knots. It's going to be a lot less than that. Normally the cruise speed that's listed on here is a lot lower than, or a lot higher than what the actual is, but nonetheless the plane is about 3 times faster than this, so we won't be able to land at some small runways like this anymore. I think we're going to need at least 5,500 in order to come to a complete stop. Yeah, we're going to keep our eye on the market to rent out the TBM 930, or we are certified to fly the Cessna 208B Grand Caravan that has a cruise altitude excuse me, got something in my throat. So that has a cruise altitude speed of 195. Has a shorter range at 964 compared to the TBM 930 that has a range of 1,730. And a little smaller payload capability. So that's our plans there. So we're going to keep an eye on the market. We're going to rent out either the TBM or TBM 930 or the 208B, whichever one we see first. Not all planes are available at all locations, so NeoFly will sort of dictate the plane that we transition to, but we'll end up flying both of them eventually. So I feel like it's time to test out some other planes. We've been flying the Cessna 172 for a little while now. So let's see. We have completed 39 trips with the Cessna 172. Before that, we were in the Cessna 172 with skis, which is very similar to this. It's just instead of the full wheels, it has skis on it so that you got water landing capabilities. We did 23 flights in that. So when you combine the two, yeah, we completed 62 trips in a Cessna 172. And we completed 15 trips in the Cessna 152. So that one, we quickly moved on to getting some navigation system, getting into the G1000, and now we'll move on. So I think the TBM and the Cessna 203B both have the G1000, or no, it might have the G3000. Never mind. Doing our certification tests on the TBM 930, I noticed that it was a little different setup. So it's an upgrade from the G1000 to the G3000, but similar concept, not too bad to fly. The only thing about the TBM 930 that I don't like is the radius between the wheels underneath. That makes stopping a little more delicate, I guess you can say. So if you stop too quick, the tail end of the plane will tip over. So you got to be careful with that. So a little different flying technique. Every plane has its things. So hitting a little turbulence here, I see. And we are now 12 miles away, so we're getting there. So yeah, all the planes a little different. They all have their little own different quirks. I try to fly as most realistic as possible. Being that this is a pretty intricate flight simulator, I try to stay within the bounds of reality and not have it as a video game. So we're going to adjust our flight plan a little bit here, I think. Let's go ahead and check the maps, our nav maps. Yeah, we can go a little further to the left. Again, we changed our approach, so we're not going to be following this 100%. As we go into this little valley area, the wind has a tendency to swirl around, which makes for a little more of a rocky ride, it seems. I'm going to throw in a measurement. Whoops. Tool to the runway. So we're going to be adjusting our heading to 154 degrees once we get up to the waypoint here. So 8.5 nautical miles away from the airport. We're getting ready. We're sitting at a pretty good height. We are 6,000 feet above ground level. We'll adjust our altimeter to make sure that that's accurate, and it was not. So now we can actually turn on FLC here. Adjust this down, our vertical speed adjustment, and we'll bring it down to our 6,000. Then we go into altitude hold mode here. We can start reducing our throttle, getting this down to 85 knots. $154. We're gonna start turning soon. We're at 92 knots, 90 knots, 89. We can deploy our flaps now. We'll do 10 degrees, should be fine. Wind is at 5 knots coming in from the right. We're at 77. Gonna increase our throttle. And we're gonna adjust our heading to 154. We'll do 153. We'll see if we can get the runway in sight. That might be the runway right there. I'm actually pretty certain that that's what it is. Let's go ahead and see if we can contact.
Altitude Center says the Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is at 6,100 feet, descending 5,000 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha.
Kilo Bravo Lima Uniform Traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is on final runway 15 to land.
Alright, we're turning autopilot off. We're going to get ready for our descent here and our landing. Again, 3,300 feet in length. We're going to try to cruise in here at a pretty low altitude, hit the front of the threshold of the runway, and parking is to the left. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this one. I think this was episode 11, day number 18 in our career, and we're progressing along pretty nicely. So, nice runway here on top of the mountain. We got a speed check at 80.
500. That was a harder landing than we like to see.
I think that was a pretty decent landing, actually. So the landing,
Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
anywhere from -60 to 180 is a good landing in real life. NeoFly has a little stricter requirement apparently. And we're going to go ahead and shut the engine off.
Welcome back. You can let the snappers disembark the aircraft.
They're going to disembark from there. We're going to bring NeoFly over. We're going to go to our log. Yeah, we had a -60 landing on that one, so not too shabby. We will take it. So appreciate you guys tuning in. That was our live session for today, and I'm gonna contemplate taking a nap now. So until next time, don't forget, hour and a half from now,
The tourists seem really happy with their trip today. We have been tagged in a social media post already. 5
Nice.
stars.
There you go. We got a 5-star rating from our tourists. That's what we like to see.
Let's go.
Trying to keep everybody happy. Let's go ahead and shut off all of this and get rid of that buzzing sound. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice it going off. But yeah, so we got our leg number 4 over at our Japan Tokyo bush trip. So tune in for that. That's 10. It's going to be 10 legs in total as we head up north over there. So enjoy that, and we will see you again hopefully tomorrow morning for another live session. We'll do episode number 12, I guess. So hope you've been enjoying it, and we will see you then.